Okay, hello and welcome everyone. My name is Helen Cole. I'm the Trade and Online Promotions Executive with Tourism Ireland, based here in Toronto. And this is our third webinar, part of our educational series with our Irish partners. And today, coming live from Ireland, we have three partners. We have Liz, who will be representing Irish Welcome Tours, Roisin from Manor House Hotels of Ireland, and Evelyn from Fab Food Trails. So thank you very much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to come and participate in our webinar, and I hope you get a lot from it. Today's webinar is about the special interest tours of Ireland, and I'm going to give you a quick overview before we introduce our partners. Again, at the start of each webinar, I just want to remind you about our access from Canada into Ireland. I know you're going to be fed up with me saying it, but here we go. We have direct seasonal access with Air Transat from April to October. So that's flights from Toronto to Dublin, Toronto to Shannon, Montreal to Dublin also. Air Canada, we have the direct seasonal access from June to September. Actually, it's come forward a month, so it's May to September this year, and that's from Toronto to Dublin. You may or may not be aware that also Air Canada and Aer Lingus have entered into an interline agreement, which should go to a full code share with Aer Lingus and Air Canada, so you can do via London, and you can access Dublin, Shannon, Cork, and Belfast. And of course, you can fly via the US with United. For anyone out west, WestJet also do code sharing with British Airways if you want to do a multi-trip to the UK, so that is an option as well. Just to give you a little reference about the gateway cities there on the map, we have Dublin in the east, Cork in the south, Shannon to the west, and Belfast to the north, the Ireland in the north, Munster in the south, Leinster to the east, and Connacht to the west. Just to give you a little bit of a taster of some of the beautiful landscapes and sceneries that you would be able to see in Ireland if you visited there. So what can Ireland offer for a specialist group? I mean, Ireland is a really, unique, diverse country. We've got so much on offer. Our partners are going to talk a little bit more about, what their companies can offer and give you a bit more in depth, but just to kind of give you a little bit of a preview, if you're into gardening, if you have any clients that love gardening, the garden of Ireland, and you can really, diversify with the type of gardening tours you can do to private houses and castles with gardens or public gardens as well. A bit of a more current reference, the Game of Thrones was actually filmed in Northern Ireland up around the Giant's Causeway and also the Carrick-a-Reid Rope Bridge. And the Causeway Coast and Glens Tourism Board have put together some really interesting tours around the whole Game of Thrones and the different locations that real enthusiasts would maybe like to visit. Surf's Up, I bet a lot of you don't know that Ireland is actually becoming a real hotspot for surfing and water sports. Some of the best waves are and wind sports, water sports. So Ireland really is quite diverse, and our partners are going to take you through a little bit more now. We have Liz, who is coming from Irish Welcome Tours, up next, and we're just going to set up her presentation, and she is going to come online. Liz, are you there?
I'm here.
Okay, super. So Liz, if you can see your presentation there, we'll let you take over, okay?
I can only see half of it.
Okay.
So I'll just drag over the other one. I can see more of Roisin's than I can see mine. So let me just drag that over a little.
Okay.
Okay, is that okay? What I've done now?
Can you see your
Yeah,
presentation well? Yep.
I can.
Okay, perfect. Off
Okay,
you go.
great. Okay. Thanks, Helen. Thanks for the opportunity to do this presentation today. You'll have to forgive me, it's my first time doing this, so I'm a little bit nervous, so I will take it slowly. I am the FIT Reservations Manager in Irish Welcome Tours, so I'm doing the presentation on the company for you guys today. So Irish Welcome Tours as a company has been in business for over 23 years as an incoming tour operator. We have a wealth of knowledge within the company of the tourism business in Ireland, as you can imagine, after that period of time. And indeed, we have many staff here that have been here for more than 10 years, which is great because they have a huge amount of experience that we can draw on as well. So within a website dedicated to primarily self-drive tours, but it also will encompass chauffeur-driven tours, escorted and tailor-made tours, which are already packaged. They're priced in US dollars, Canadian dollars, euro, and in sterling. They're not bookable online. People can send in a request to us, and we will package it for them from there. Then we have Irish Welcome Tours, which is our traditional, incoming travel agent, and we deal with travel agents all around the world, booking, as you can imagine, accommodation, city breaks, transportation, car hire, visits and attractions, etc. We also have online programs, and we have XML access for travel agents that wish to use us in this way. Irish Horizons is the incentives division of the company, so they deal with all of our corporate and incentive business, and they are now doing incoming and outgoing business. So they have had a few groups that have gone out of Ireland. We've done groups in Italy, and I believe the next one is going to be to Corsica. Then we have Irish Cottage Holiday Homes, which is a smaller part of the business, but it's a collection of self-catering cottages that are based all around Ireland for people that want to come and just stay in a cottage for a week and totally get away from it all. And then we have Premier Guest Houses, have a bar or a restaurant in it, and we've got a collection of about 30 of them all around the island of Ireland. So for Tour Ireland, the type of tours that we do on this side are self-drive tours, escorted bus tours, chauffeur-driven tours, special interest, and tailor-made. We do everything, and everything is customizable. Even if it's unusual, we can do it. We get, any kind of request. Just because they don't see it on the website doesn't mean we don't do it. People can send in requests through the tailor-made option, and we will surely look at it for them. An example of something unusual is a proposal that I've been working on, which has booked, is for some clients that are coming, and this guy is going to propose to his girlfriend while they're here, and they're staying in a castle. But the unusual thing is 2 hours after he and his soon-to-be girlfriend are arriving, both sets of parents are also arriving. And I have to try and, come up with an itinerary to keep them all busy but separate so that they don't meet. And then they're going off traveling for a week after that. So that's just something that came in as a can you do, and of course we can. Then I'm just going to look at the themes of the golf and activity, honeymoon and romantic tours, short city tours, Northern Ireland tours, the gathering of course, and then culinary tours. The majority of the tours that you would see on the website are broken down into, I suppose the shortest one is 6 nights, then we have 7 nights, 10 nights, and 14 nights. But if your client has something for 15 nights or 16 nights, we can still do that as well. Just because it's on the website doesn't mean we can't do it. It's completely fine. And recently we have done a 21-day tour for a client as well, and he just also emailed in to ask, could we do this? And of course, it's no problem to put that together. Excuse me. This is a sample of one of the tours that we've got. This is focusing on the gathering tour. So this is how the tours will look on the website, and they're all tabbed, so it's easily accessible. So you can go through the overview, the history, the attractions, a sample of the type of accommodation. Of course, it's all, depending on availability at the time of booking. So these are suggestions, and then we've got a map of the route as well, showing you where you would be going. This route, again, I suppose, is a classic route because it will be going through all the hot spots, like we'd call them, from Dublin through to Cork, Kerry, Clare and Galway, and then back to Dublin. And this can also be reversed whatever way needs to be. If the clients are flying into Shannon, out of Dublin, etc., we can work around that and just turn it all around. This one is a sample of an Ancient Ireland tour, which is an 8-day tour. Similar route, as you can see from the map, but again, this would focus on something different. So it's going to be focusing on the ancient and historical sites of Ireland, which is quite appealing to a lot of people when they're here. So they'll get this is a whiskey tour that we've created, and of course it will go to Jameson Distillery and a possible add-on. It doesn't include Northern Ireland, but if somebody wanted to extend this kind of tour and go to, for example, Bushmills, we could add that on for them. That would be no problem. Our newest tour that we are going to be launching very soon is a gourmet food tour, and this is going to be in association with TV chef Clodagh McKenna. Clodagh has been very famous over here for quite a while, but her star is definitely rising in the US and Canada, I believe, through the Irish Food Trails program, which has been shown on PBS and Create TV many times. And indeed, they're showing a mini marathon of it over St. Patrick's weekend. So Clodagh is great. She focuses on all Irish food related things, around the island of Ireland, not one specific area. So this program is really good. And I approached her about doing this tour, and within a week we had it confirmed. So we're just working on the final itinerary. And this little quote is actually from her. So she's really excited about doing this, and I know a lot of her fans over there are really anxious to get here and visit the Irish food markets and taste the food, and the food really is a booming industry. We offer you, as travel agents, if you book with us, we would offer you 10% commission on any bookings that travel. We would have a very quick turnaround on requests. We have a dedicated and knowledgeable team here to help advise and plan the itineraries for your clients. Like I said, if it's not an itinerary that's on the website, we will do up an itinerary for you. We do detailed itineraries to include in your client's confirmation packs. So these would be like a little book, really, and we bind them for you so you can give to the clients and they can take it with them when they come here. And then we have on-the-ground assistance and support for the clients if there are any issues while they're here. Regarding the team that I have here, there's me there. Not a great picture of Connemara that day, but Connemara is spectacular anyway. So that's just a little bit about myself. I've been in the business over 21 years now, hard to believe. And then my assistant manager, Gillian, is down below. Then we have Viv and Aisling. So why would you want to book with us? Well, we have in-depth knowledge of Ireland. We have over 23 years experience in the business. We're a friendly professional team. We have good wholesaler rates and a dedicated FIT department. We also have a dedicated groups department, quick turnaround times. We contract with over and we have financial protection guarantee. I've included here just a couple of testimonials that clients have sent in to us. I won't go through all of them because I'm just aware of the time. These clients stayed in 2012, and as you can see, they all had a really great time. The second one there, they particularly mentioned their hotel that they stayed in, the Carnan House Hotel, so they really enjoy that. So we would include that kind of feedback specific to the hotels on our website as well, so that gives clients an idea of what to ask for. And that's just another one there. Very quickly have a look through. And then we are going to entered into a raffle, and the winner will receive from us an Irish whiskey hamper from the Burren Smokehouse in is 1855-605-0157, or any other queries can be directed to our info address, which is the info@tourireland.com. Thank you very much for your time, and do you have any questions?
That's great, Liz. It's Helen here again. Thank you very much for bringing us through your presentation. That was fantastic for a first-timer, so I think you did an awesome job. We do have a number of questions for you. I'm just going to run through them, and if you can answer them, that would be great.
Okay.
One of our first questions was, we noticed that your rates were quoted in Canadian dollars. Can you actually accept payment in Canadian dollars as well?
No, we take payment in euros. So when we do actually do any transactions, the exchange rate will come up on, for example, a credit card receipt. So we would give that back to the agent then and tell them the exchange rate.
Them in French as well?
For groups, yes, it would be. For individuals, it's not something we've done yet, but not to say we can't do it because we have many, many French people in the office.
Activities that are included in that?
Footsteps that Clodagh walked in when she did the Irish Farmers Market book and TV series. Doing a self-drive tour more than a group tour. Okay. So this would be, you know, people traveling around by themselves, and you know, if we do have enough people to do if there's 25 or 30.
He has a group that are interested in attending the Wexford
Absolutely, we can.
options.
Individual booking for 2 people.
With the questions.
You'll tell me who the winner is.
Follow up to all the agents, so they'll get a request. We have Roisin. Okay, I'll hand it over to you then.
Irish name, and it means little road. Manor House Hotels of Ireland business for 26 properties. In total, 60 properties. Dating back as far as the castle in Tralee. That you can take in. Will bring you around the castle and point 26 bedrooms. So you can feel as if you really are king of a castle for a night or two. To give you some history of the castle, you get a lot of stories associated with all of these great buildings. So this one, for example, way back in the 16th century, the rent on it per year was a single red rose. Wouldn't it be great if we only had to pay that type of money for our houses and apartments these days? So that's Ballyseedy Castle. There's the odd ghost or two, of course, stories associated with all these castles, and that's part of their charm. Here is another one of the great estates that I would represent. Now, these are all full-service hotels, but they are in beautiful historic buildings. So you are going to have, your concierge, your bellman, your room service, all the facilities you would expect of a deluxe property. Is the name for a lake in Ireland. And you can see here the lovely lawns and the beautiful gardens that are associated with the house. A little bit of history here as well. If you see the little steps where those people are nearly walking towards, back in the day when this was a stately home and there was a lord living in the house, his servants would have walked along the lower level to work in the morning, and when he was sitting in that great drawing room looking out on the lake, he didn't want his view to be disturbed. So that's just some of the stories that your clients would get if they stayed in these great houses. To give you an idea of standards, you're going to see on a number of the slides, and I'm not going to dwell on them, the different awards that odors, among others. But just to give you a feel for the properties, this is a room in our property in Westport on the west coast of Ireland, and it's Knockranny House. So a great spot. the restaurant here has won Best Restaurant in Ireland. So many of the properties would be ideal places to encourage your guests to linger a bit of time, make sure that they have time to enjoy dinner in the great dining rooms of these houses. This property here is in Waterford. I think many of you would be aware of the city of Waterford from our great crystal that was produced there for many years. And you can still do a visitor attraction house in Waterford. Each of the owners of these properties are there to greet your customers as well. So they're local people living in the area in these amazing, amazing hotels, and they can tell you all there is to see and do in that area. They can send you off the beaten track into nice little attractions that maybe nobody else will know. So that's the great joy of staying in some of these great castles. I've moved on to Ballynahinch Castle, which is often termed the jewel in the crown of Connemara. And Connemara is the area west of County Galway, and you can see from this slide the beauty of the scenery around Ballynahinch Castle. The castle itself is set on over 450 acres of an amazing estate. So there's lots to do without even leaving the castle estate. You can see the castle here reflected in the water of its own private river where you can go on walking tours of the estate every day, and you can package those in if you wish. That tree for your client, and so they can bring back leave a little bit of history of themselves and their visit to Ireland at Ballynahinch Estate. It's also a great spot for just touring that whole Connemara area. Same general area is Lochina Lodge. And Lochina Lodge for the last 2 years has won Best Country House in Ireland. It's a beautiful, beautiful little idyllic spot. You can see the view there looking out the front door of the house, as well as the view behind the house. And this is run by Maura O'Connor. It's a great fishing house if you want to go fishing. Or indeed, it's also a very romantic setting. So many honeymooners like to come here. There are beautiful walks down to the lake in front of the house and also up in the mountains. And again, touring and fishing would be part of the activities that many people would enjoy down there. You're very close as well to Kylemore Abbey in Connemara, which is now, and you can buy chocolates. There's a beautiful craft house, and also tour the historic building that's there as well. But we don't just have properties in the countryside. We also have properties of distinction in Dublin, and it's just one block from Grafton Street, which is the main shopping street in Dublin. So a really, really central location. It's a boutique property, as all our properties are. The average size of our properties is 60 bedrooms, though they do range from 12 up to 100 rooms. This is one of the larger ones, obviously being in Dublin City, but it's just 80 rooms. So lots of additional items like fret linen, etc. They even have their own little private cinema just for guests of the hotel here in Brooks, and one of Dublin's great whisky bars. So if you want to enjoy some different Irish whiskies and get, the barman will talk you through the history of many of the histories there on property at the house. moving nearer to maybe Shannon, if your clients are flying in on one of the flights that arrive into Shannon Airport, Dunraven Arms Hotel in Adair is a great first or last night stay. It would be ideal. It's about 45 minutes from Shannon Airport. It's in the lovely town of Adair, which is a beautiful town, and you can see this building is a historic building, so it conjures up the idea of Adair. But Adair has lots of beautiful thatched houses, boutiques, little restaurants, so great place for a first or last night stay on your trip to Ireland. One of our other castles. Reservations office here in Dublin. I will give you our 1-800 number at the end, or through our website, or can be arranged with the property owners when you arrive. So many of them will bring you, give you the best trails in the area and guide you on that. Food is also of a lot of importance. As I mentioned, lots of award winners, but also all of these properties pride themselves on using the best of local produce. So places like do food trails around the whole West Cork area from this property, and also garden trails. This is a particularly warmer part of Ireland, though nowhere is really hot, but warmer than others, and there are some stunning gardens to visit from this great property. There's something just to get you all hungry at this time of the day. I know it's coming towards your lunchtime, so maybe somebody's digging into a nice bit of Irish salmon like there, or some beautiful prawns. Liz briefly mentioned Cahernan House in Killarney in her presentation, and this is a shot of that great hotel. And you can see the lovely lakes of Killarney there in the background. So this can be booked through our central reservations office, or indeed through the operators. We do work with all the major operators in Canada, so you can book our properties through them, or indeed direct through our reservations office. We do pay 10% commission, and it's paid directly once the client has stayed. It's paid from the central office, so you don't have to contact each hotel individually. And with regard to our website as well, our website is in not only English but also in French and Italian as well. This is another shot of one of our seaside locations, the Bayview Hotel in East Cork. And sometimes people ask me, well, what is a stay in a castle like? What are the rooms like? Are they old, or, are they back to when they were 16th century? Well, no, they're very much very classic rooms, I suppose. Lots of these four-poster beds, lots of antique furnishings, but very much at a high standard and a level of luxury as well. Isn't this a beautiful castle? You can see it's surrounded by its original wall here. And this particular property has been in the same family, the Cooper family, since the castle was originally owned. So giving you some idea there. Here you can see how to contact us. We have our toll-free number there from Canada, or you can dial us if you want to pay on the full number. We have our central reservations office here, and we're here to help you with any queries you may have, whether you're booking through a tour operator or indeed booking through us. So if you have queries regarding any of our hotels, we're happy for you to ask us those questions and then book whatever way suits you best as an agent. Our website is manorhousehotels.com. So I think that's quite a simple website to remember. And I think that's more or less it, unless anyone has any questions for me.
Roisin, it's Helen. Thank you so much for bringing us through your presentation. I think we're all drooling at those beautiful, stunning properties and thinking about the fab restaurants that are there as well. We do have a couple of questions for you. Thelma was asking about family rooms. I mean, do the properties, are they quite flexible? Do they have family rooms available, or is it limited?
No, most of our properties would have family rooms. There are a couple who don't, but the majority of them would have family rooms of some. Being historic buildings, not every room is the same, but yes, some of the rooms are larger than others because the lord of the manor always had a bigger house than maybe some of the others. So yes, indeed, we do have family rooms.
Okay, super. And some of the properties obviously you can go fishing at the properties. Do they provide the fishing license for the guests?
Yes, indeed. Fishing licenses, rods, even in many of the properties they even have the Wellington boots and the wet gear if you don't want to travel with that. So yes, indeed, we do provide the licenses for you and can arrange everything to do with fishing, half day, full day, depending on what people want. And also you can get somebody to bring you in many of the properties to the best fishing. So we have guides, which in Ireland are called gillies, fishing gillies, and we can look after booking those gillies for you as well.
Super. A question in from Jeannie is about Philip, do you provide prepaid voucher programs for FITs?
Yes, we can organize that for you. Yeah, most definitely we do.
Okay, super.
So you
all that if they're booking through Manor House and Irish Country, you set that up for them as well, do you?
That's right. We pay 10% commission. Yeah. We pay 10% commission through agents, or other than that, if you book through your preferred tour operator, they will look after your commission. So whichever way works best for you as an agent.
Super. And a question here from Sandy Roisin about restrictions on the number of nights booked at any of the properties. I mean, I would imagine maybe over peak times or weekends this might apply.
Not normally, normally in most cases it's, night by night. We don't have minimum length of stay or anything. But in general, no, they can stay for just a night if they wish. But because they tend to be large estates and there can be a lot to do, that sometimes the only reason I was saying maybe try and stay a bit longer is that there's so much to do at a property that sometimes if they only stay a night they feel a bit cheated when they get there, but because they'd like to have stayed longer. But certainly you can stay one night if that's what all your itinerary allows for.
Okay, well, Roisin, I think we're going to leave it there, and I know you're also offering a lovely little prize to lucky agents, so thank you very much.
That's right. We're hoping somebody will be able to come for a 2-night stay in Manor House for the lucky winner of the prize.
Thank you very much for your generosity. We appreciate it.
No.
So, Roisin, I know we're going to see you next week at our Jump into Ireland events in Ottawa and Montreal. So perhaps some of the agents online will get to meet you in person next week, which would be super. So
Good, I hope so.
For taking the time out this evening, and we'll let you go home.
Okay, thanks, Helen. Goodbye, everybody. Thank you.
Bye. Okay, super. Up next, we have Evelyn Coyle coming from Fab Food Trails, and she's going to bring us through her presentation. Evelyn, are you there?
I am indeed. How are you? Thank you very much for having me on.
Okay, super. Well, we'll hand it over to you. And you
well, now, can I just say, I can't see it. My presentation has gone off the screen. Now it's gone off my screen.
Okay. Do you see it now?
No, it's gone black. It was there a moment ago.
Evelyn, it's Jacqueline here.
Hi, Jacqueline.
Webinar. I think you might be in the presenter only section. You just drag the black area to the right. You should be able to see your presentation with the arrow. Be able to.
Okay, there we go. Thank you.
Perfect. Perfect. Well, we'll hand it over to you then, Evelyn.
Okay. Well, hello to everybody there, and thanks very much for sitting and for inviting me and also for listening to me. What we do is we do food trails. They are walks really around Dublin and Cork, and we're now beginning to spread our wings a little bit. In Belfast, we hope, and we do occasionally do them in Galway, and they tend to be city-based. And really the idea is to introduce people to just great Irish produce, but also to meet all the people involved along the way. So all of them in bring you along to 6 or 7 tastings. You meet the people like the lovely Emer there in that photograph, who will tell you a little bit about what they do, why they do it, what they take pride in, and then you taste what they feel is best in their shop or their bakery or their delicatessen that day. So it's always a bit of fun. We keep the groups fairly small. So if you had a group, say, of 30, we would maybe divide it into between 2 guides, and you can do the same route and we could meet together at the end and things like that. But because some of the places are very small, we really can't take very big groups. So we sort of sign off at around 15. So you can see we get city centre meeting, as I say, and we finish back in the centre. It's a very gentle stroll because there's a lot of stopping and chatting and tasting. There are 6 of us working in it. There's myself, in Dublin, and she's guiding with us. Roisin Fallon, who's worked in food and production all her life. Chris Binchy, who's a novelist, and he's also a trained chef. He was initially a chef, and now he's a published novelist, but he guides with us. Alice is down in Cork, and Aisling is in Cork. So we've 2 in Cork, and there's 4 of us in Dublin, and Emily is a 5th one when we need a 5th guide. So along the way, as we walk along through the streets, what we do is we meet in the centre, but then we try and go a little bit away from the city centre, just to give people a sort of taste of ordinary Dublin, of places that are very near, but you possibly wouldn't be sent from your hotel to. And we give a little bit of history along the way, and and a little bit of architecture, but we wouldn't go down a street to see a building. We would go down for some very nice food, though, and if we passed an interesting building along the way, we would tell you a little bit about that. So we run these throughout the year. When stocks are kind of back in. The shelf price is €50 per person, and we give a discount then of 10%, and I see there it's 7.5%. It's actually 10% for tour operators. I'm sorry about that. The walks can be tailored. We can do them any day and any time of the day throughout the week for groups of 8 or more. Sunday is the trickiest day because a lot of the places that we would go to, as I say, are very small and they don't open on a Sunday. So you can see we've had very nice press reviews, both online, print, radio and television. We've been very fortunate about that, and we've had those both in Dublin, in Ireland at least, and really across the world. We get a great cross-section on our sign-up days. So if people are interested, and there's only a couple of them, and they just joined an ordinary tour on a Saturday, they're always a good bit of fun because not only will you meet other people in the city, but we always have Irish people and Dubliners on them. I think in the 5 years that we've been doing them, we've only had 1 sign-in tour with no Irish people at all. So it's usually a good mix and cross-section, and they're always nice because they're very interested in what they're doing. So there you are. I hope that gives you a flavour of it. And if you have any questions or anything you'd like to ask,
So I think we're all definitely interested. We have a couple of questions for you. One of the first questions is from June, and I think you did cover this, but I mean, how does an agent go about booking? I mean, is it booking directly with yourself?
Booking directly with ourselves is really the most, and we can tailor them that way as well. If they have a group with a particular interest, or a group that wants to know anything special, or a special time of day, or a little longer, a little shorter, that's fine. We can do that. So if they contact us directly via the website, or on our at info@fabfoodtrails.ie,
Mm-hmm.
I think all that information is there on the last page. Yeah.
And obviously, I mean, bookings are taken in advance, and it's good to pre-book the tours.
Yes, yeah, always. So you do mean turn up on a Saturday? No, you can't do that because we do limit them, as I say, and once they're full, we don't. We either set up a second one, or we just don't take any more bookings for that day.
Okay, perfect. And do you offer any of your tours in French?
We don't, but we can always organise a translator. They're very good French in fact, any translators around.
And if you have, I mean, if an agent had a particular, like a small group, and there was some dietary restrictions, obviously, it's part of the trail to kind of meet and greet and get different elements, but can you kind of cater a little bit for dietary
Of course
needs?
we can, yeah. And it's great to know in advance. It really is good to know in advance, because then we can set it up. And because, from our point of view, the worst thing is going places where people can't eat or taste. You do slip into that mammy mode where you want everybody to eat well and enjoy themselves. So somebody, to know in advance is just great, because then we can make sure there's something that they can eat at every stop.
Perfect. And in terms of the amount of distance in walking, I mean, you're not talking about, miles and miles.
Oh, not at all. No, it's not. It's no distance at all. I mean, you wouldn't want your hiking boots or anything now, nor would you want your bar shoes, but, just comfortable shoes. It's not a huge distance, and it's really a stroll rather than a walk. And it's flat.
Perfect.
No hill climbing.
Okay. And just a quick question from Donna. She's asking, do the tours always start in the same place, or do they kind of,
They don't always start at exactly the same place, but they're always city centre.
Mm-hmm.
They'd be quite. There's a couple of different routes, so once we organise a tour, we give you the starting point, but it's always within the sort of hub of the city.
Fantastic. And do you think you're looking to expand to other cities in Ireland?
Well, we're hoping to we're doing one now for somebody in Belfast, and we're hoping that if that works, we've dry run it, and we're hoping that we might kind of do a bit up there, and we're looking at other cities now, but they will be similar to the Dublin and Cork in that they'll be city centre. There's no hopping on buses. They're not the longer ones. It'll be city centre, but and that sort of nice cross section of cheesemongers, delicatessen, maybe a bakery, maybe street food, but good street food, that sort of thing, and then finishing somewhere that's comfortable that people can sit down.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much, Evelyn, for joining us live from Ireland. We really appreciate you talking to us about your wonderful Fab Food Trails. And as I mentioned before, all the agents will receive your contact details and a recording of the webinar, so they'll be able to contact you directly. So thank you very much.
Great. Thank you very much. And have a nice lunch now after all that food talk.
Absolutely. Starving now. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you very much, Helen. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much to all the agents who have joined us today for our third educational webinar. We really appreciate you taking the time out, and our final webinar will be on March 20th. And once we finish up our final webinar and we finish the series, you'll hear from myself about who the lucky prize winners are going to be, and hopefully I'll see, I think I recognise a few names, so I'll see a few of you next week at our Jump into Ireland events. So I'll let you go if you haven't had lunch already. I'm sure you're hungry after the Fab Food Trail. So thank you very much, and hopefully I'll see you on the 20th. Okay, take care. Bye-bye.